Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Great Malabite.
Yes, good.
Action.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victoria Tundu MQ Abiola.
Good morning.
Yes, set for the weekend in red. Yes. Now, let's start the review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of record. Now, the lead story, NSA, National Security Advisor, that is, military developing new strategies to curtail terrorism, says there will be renewed momentum against insecurity. Admits Nigerians are tired, gravitating towards self-help. Promises those found wanting in Kuje jailbreak won't go unpunished. Guards Brigade, others kill 30 terrorists in Buhari. Atiku vows to rescue Zamfara from insurgency. Stop killings, kidnappings. New Khan president urges Buhari. PDP National Assembly caucus collecting signatures to impeach president. Well, the National Security Council meeting held yesterday. Well, if I say I was expecting anything special, I don't think I'll be saying the truth. And I wasn't surprised when the National Security Advisor came out and telling us about the military developing. We've moved from marching orders to developing new strategies. Well, architecture seems to have left the military lexicon, and now we're talking of new strategies. Other newspapers are also reporting this story. Of course, the Guardian newspaper, insecurity, federal government admits failure as opposition lawmakers insist on impeachment. NSA promises new strategies, seeks citizens' cooperation. We are tackling recent security breaches in Abuja, others, defense headquarters. Bandits, military in gun duel at Abuja City Gate. PDP reps will start gathering signature for Buhari's impeachment in 6 weeks. Northeast elders to Buhari, sack NSA now. Those piloting nations affairs far away from reality, Afenifere laments. APC stakeholders demand action against insecurity. Federal government to sanction BBC, Trust TV over terrorism glorification, whatever that means. Well, the Vanguard newspaper also reporting the story. Insecurity, Nigerians fed up, opting for self-help. NSA, National Security Advisor. 20 killed as bandits sack Zamfara communities. How herdsmen sacked 25 communities in Taraba, according to lawmaker. Bandits invade Plateau community, kill 6. 2 security men shot in failed bid to kidnap expatriates. Archbishop Oko takes over as Khan tax Buhari on killings. Federal government sanctions BBC Trust to sanction BBC Trust TV over terrorism glorification. Reps join senators in threatening Buhari with impeachment. National Assembly impeachment threats against Buhari self-serving, says Kachiku. Seek foreign help urgently. Onitiri urges federal government. Yes, Brigade of Guards, how officers, soldiers were ambushed, killed by terrorists. 30 terrorists behind attack, killed. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, insecurity, Nigerians tired, turning to self-help, says federal government. Then below the photograph there, Aerofire, how I told the president about terrorist plot to abduct him. That is a new one, really. Ruben, you Aso Rock people, ex-Aso Villa people. How do you brief the president? Is it that somebody who had this information felt this will not be good for the king this morning, so it should not be part of the security briefing? They give the president security update every morning. You know that. So how come this was not part of it, and it has to be Nasir El-Rufai, governor of Kaduna State, wanted to tell the president they are planning to kidnap you and my humble self, President. How?
Anyway, Efeni, we need to take a short break.
Yes.
And take this report. We started the news this morning with an update on an attack by Boko Haram terrorists around Zuma Rock in Niger State last night, where some soldiers were reportedly killed when terrorists raided a military checkpoint. For updates on that attack, we are now being joined by our Rise correspondent, Ferdinand Duroha. Ferdinand, good morning. Any updates? What's the situation?
Well, thank you so much. We are in Madala, and just behind us, you definitely will see the Zuma Rock. Now, that's about just close to 1 kilometer to where we have the military checkpoint. Now, we try to indeed speak to them to see if we could, do anything from there. But from what the authorities tell us, they say no, and that's because of how vulnerable that place is right now. However, we can confirm that there was an attack yesterday. By an attack, well, from different sources. Well, what we seem to gather is that perhaps it was not a deliberate attack on whatever installation there was at that point. It was about a couple of people, call them bandits, call them terrorists, moving and along the line, well, perhaps under pressure or whatever it was. When they saw that there was a formation there, then, the firefight ensued. However, we have tried to validate the number of casualties. We cannot confirm. Well, some sources say one, some people say, well, it wasn't fatal, just, some other casualties. We cannot confirm that. We did approach them and then try to speak to them, but yes, we didn't get anything from them. And then we also have sent some notices to the head office, and we haven't really gotten any information or any feedback as regards what exactly happened. Now, we did visit two of the police installations around here. Well, there is a police station. Well, the Madala police station, not too far from here. We did visit and had something sort of an informal chat. That's because, from the authorities at the federal, from the authorities at the police headquarters. Also, we have been trying to get information, but then they did tell us that they weren't really actually involved. But when they saw the pressure of people, with the gridlock that indeed had happened due to the incident, well, they had to come out and then create something like a buffer for whatever security arrangements that they had. So that's the story. Well, teams seems to have normal activities seem to have resumed. Let's not forget, well, this is the major road to Kaduna. Yes, the very troubled road, the one that lots of people have their hearts in their mouth when they travel along. Unfortunately, because of the train incidents a couple of months back, well, the road has become a little busier than it used to be, because the options are quite limited when you're going to Kaduna, or perhaps you want to travel the way our politicians travel these days, which is travel to Kano, and then from Kano you do a 3-hour drive to Kaduna, than just driving from Abuja from this particular point to Kaduna, which is less than 100 minutes.
Oh dear. Ferdinand, what is this mystery surrounding this event all about? Why are details not being provided? It's obviously of public interest. By now we should know, at the very least, if there were any casualties and how many. What's going on here?
Oh yes, there seems to be a whole lot going on. Permit me to give you a little story of what happened yesterday. Yesterday there was a briefing, by the Defense Media, office, where usually journalists come out and then we get activities, we get briefings of activities of troops and military activities of the headquarters in the last 2 weeks. But yesterday there seemed to be that, I wouldn't call it, hostility, but then there was a jaw between the journalist and the Defense HQ. Why aren't we getting enough information? And from what they said, well, they've given us as much as they can, looking at the particular situation. Now, that is indeed very relative when you talk about as much as they can. Let's reference the attack at the Guards Brigade. I know how long it took before, somebody from the Guards Brigade was quoted, the PRO was quoted to have given those statistics of about 3 soldiers, who indeed, were killed in that particular one. Now, the question is, from the videos that we've seen across social media and from the reports that have followed, can we actually say it was just 3 people who lost their lives? And so these are some of the stories. They do not really think that the media should have all the information that we need to put out there, and that's because they say that, well, it doesn't really matter. Somehow they argue that it dampens the morale of the troop. However, you and I know that with the immediate situation, people need to have more information. People need to know exactly how safe wherever they are, how safe it is wherever they are. So this is the argument. Yesterday also reports about some media houses, that perhaps, the government have decided to blacklist because of 1 or 2 reportage of such information concerning bandits and terrorism, stories about terrorism that they have carried. And so I must indeed state that it's really been very difficult to get plenty of information. And it's all because they definitely think that we do not need all the information that we seek.
Ferdinand, real quickly, there's a reaction to all of this. They're saying not true. These were policemen and hunters on patrol in Abuja. They were mobilized to embark on aggressive patrol along some routes in the FCT. The CPFCT, Sunday Babaji made this move. And so disregard this news of video. Thanks. That's from Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi. What do you have to say about that?
Beg your pardon, Rufai, can you go over the question again so that I just...
So I'm saying there's exactly a tweet that came out from Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi that said, not true. These were policemen and hunters on patrol in Abuja. They were mobilized to embark on aggressive patrol along some routes in the FCT. The CPFCT, Sunday Babaji, made this move, so disregard this news or video. Thanks. That's a tweet by Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I don't know about what's coming out from the, as regards the validity of that information coming out from there. But I've spoken to a couple of people around here, and yes, they did hear gunfire. I've gone past that place twice this morning. Yes, there was an incident. I've spoken to some policemen. Yes, there was an incident, and they can also confirm that they were casualties. Now, we also must state this, that, just like I said earlier, that there are different information being peddled. For some people, they say it was a direct attack. But for some people, they say it's about movement of terrorists. Now, underline that word, movement of terrorists. Now, this is not the first time we're hearing that. We're hearing people say, there are some people camped in some places, there are some people camped in some places. I've been part of, some patrol teams going around to see if they could verify any of that information. However, we already know that somehow there's some kind of apprehension around. 2 days ago, we did do a report about, we did do a report where we sampled opinion of some FCT residents. And, the sum total is very simple. They do not feel as safe as they were in December. And this is due to information coming in that obviously there are some terrorist elements who are within some spaces, in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, let's not also forget a couple of weeks back, it was the attack on Kuje, and then also, a couple of days back, that which happened in Buhari. Now, these places are locations in the FCT. But going back to that which happened yesterday, still, just like I said, information we're gathering from different sources. We are waiting for some form of official confirmation. Now, if the first PRO says, that nothing happened, that's from his perspective and from where he sits. However, we've spoken to some people here, including, I must also ask, some men in uniform who have indeed told us that, yes, there were some incidents. However, they cannot tell us specifically how many were the casualties.
Thank you very much, Ferdinand Duroha. We'll leave it at that for now, and then return to the studio to continue review of newspapers with Emmanuel Ifeni.
Yes, Ruben, thanks. Now, Rufai, who was that guy, Prince Adejobi? Is he a government official, a police official?
A police official.
Okay, so That's a police official making that claim.
There was a video making rounds
Yeah.
about people riding motorcycles, around the vicinity of the incident that happened yesterday. And he said that these were policemen and some hunters on patrol. And the reaction on social media had been, why will policemen be going about on the back of motorcycles? Don't they have patrol vans? Don't they have, the necessary equipment?
Well, we need further confirmation from official sources, the defense headquarters, the police headquarters. But we just move on with what we're discussing. Newspaper review, of course, the security situation. That was where we were before we left off. Of course, we just leave the Aero-5 briefing of the president instead of the official channel of daily presidential briefing. How they omitted that aspect. But what I don't get is why Aero-5 will be going public. I told the president, I informed him. I don't know what that's supposed to achieve. But the business day, looking at the
president has many sources of information.
So why will Aero-5 go public on that?
Anybody who has access to the president can give him information.
And you go public and say, I've just told the president that he was about to be kidnapped.
I don't get what you are driving at.
Okay, that's where I'm going. That I don't get why he has to go public with that.
I get what you're driving at.
Yeah. Now, the Business Day newspaper. Insecurity crippling education, fueling migration as Nigeria's security situation has taken a turn for the worse. A growing number of schools are being forced to shut down, and many citizens are moving from one place to another and out of the country. Even those who are not very rich, they try to take their words out of the country, even if it means selling some of their property to do so, because of the situation in the country, apart from the problem in the educational sector, which is well publicized and well advertised. Security has also become an issue, and the Business Day newspaper is calling it a new dimension. Is however setting in as government at both state and federal level are ordering closures due to security concerns. This is the situation in the country now. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, Naira depreciation takes toll on investors, worsens insecurity, worsens uncertainty. Currency down by 11% in 1 week. It will negatively impact prices of commodities. Experts, you don't need to be an expert to know that. Local content, economic diversification, way out. Now, the Nation newspaper also has something on the dollar situation. Just below the masthead, non-remittance of dollars by NNPC behind Naira crisis, says CBN. Yes, the NNPC and its subsidiaries are the sole managers of the crude oil, which accounts for 80% of Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings. Now, the non-remittance of these dollars, of dollars to the foreign reserves by the NNPC is responsible for Naira's free fall in the official and parallel markets. That is the CBN making that claim. Of course, as the Naira closes yesterday, the Naira traded for 700 Naira to the dollar at the parallel market and 415 Naira at the official market. That gap in itself is a problem. And it is a problem that people will just take advantage. You get your money from the official market, you find a way to the parallel market and make some cool bucks. It's part of the problem. Now, if I just take one foreign, perhaps we'll just look at one more paper before we come over to you. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper. No, that's not the paper. No, it's the Punch. I'm actually trying to get the Punch newspaper. Yes, the Punch newspaper, please. Now, presidential primaries. Buhari's ex-minister asked court to disqualify Tinubu Atiku Nwajuba forced APC PDP. Yes, I just thought I should bring this story up because Nwajuba, yes, former Minister of State for Education, who unsuccessfully dialogued with ASU and wanted to be president, spent 100 million naira to buy a form. It's called One Vote. He's now saying that he's gone to the court that he should be declared the winner because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu used dollars to buy delegates. And he did not stop there. He said also the PDP candidate used dollars to buy candidates. So he should be declared the candidate. One vote.
PDP.
Right?
No, for both parties.
No, for both parties.
Right?
But
It
it's
should be
both
declared across both.
of APC and so I don't know what somebody who scored one vote. He tied one vote with his brother Ubonayanu.
Well,
the only person they beat was Tunde Bakari, who scored
There's
zero.
no problem here. You alleges must prove. But under the Electoral Act, is it section 29? He can only make case with regard to
his own party primary.
yes, APC.
I'm
because
baffled,
you go to
quite
court,
frankly.
you know, if you took part in that primary, nobody, no outsider can come and raise objections to the emergence of
But he's
anybody
raising
in
for
the
both.
primary.
But wait a minute. He's a lawyer by training, though.
Is he a lawyer? Are you sure Nwajuba is a
Check
lawyer?
it.
Well, I'm not too sure. So
He's a lawyer by
I'm
training.
just baffled. Maybe he wants to go to court and be declared president of Nigeria. Might as well just, you know, take it all the way. Doesn't make any sense.
Yes, yes.
let
Nwajuba should be a lawyer by training. He's a lawyer. I think he has a PhD in law, if my memory serves me right.
Let him go to court and prove.
he's already in court.
You alleges
Yes.
must prove. And the court will look at the merit of his case. And if it is frivolous or vexatious,
Even if it is
to be
qualified,
found out.
Atuaju is according to him,
Yeah.
use dollar. He's not. He's
He's an
second to the
APC.
last. He only beat Tunde Bakari, the pastor, who scored 0 votes.
No, but no, it doesn't matter. So you've said that twice with Teferi. Why?
Very.
Why?
You are in a mischievous mood.
No,
this
I wanted to
morning.
leave this story for Ojo, but
No,
it was too
his
salacious
suit-
for me
his
to
suit-
ignore. And front page of the Punch newspaper.
You could not
So I had to
resist.
take it.
You could not resist. No, he can. His suit with regards to APC is in order, even though he got one vote. But PDP, I'm baffled. He's not a member of the PDP.
So, Dr. Bati, just to put it out there, he has a PhD in law from the University of Jos, was called to bar 1989.
That's Dr. Nwajuba.
Yeah, Dr. Nwajuba.
Well, let him go and prove his case before the court. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efene.